I want to talk a little bit about how do we view children, because I was listening to this thing by Bob Proctor, and he talked about how in schools we teach kids like they're empty cups needing to be filled. And he suggested what would happen if we turned it around and we view children as they're already full, and our job as teachers and our jobs as parents is to figure out a way for them to share their gifts with the world and get them out of that cup. And I just thought, wow, what an interesting way to think about children. Because not that I ever have felt like they're empty vessels being needed to be filled, but I definitely think that my job as a teacher is to get their creative gifts out of them and to share what there is unique to them. And I don't think that all teachers necessarily view children as that, and that maybe that is something that we need to shift as a society in order for schools to become places that empower creativity and empower creative thought and empower critical thinking skills. Because when we view kids from a place where they're already the expert, or they're already have all these gifts inside of them, and look at them through their strengths, then they feel so much more empowered. I know with my class, I talk all the time about how we each have our own gifts, and there's some things that I'm really good at and some things I'm not really good at. And even I'll make silly jokes about my partner teacher and be like, he has to keep me on track because I've got all these creative ideas all the time going on. And I'm like, but I need him because he keeps me on track, and he makes sure that I follow some of the checklists that I need to follow in order to make sure that the kids are learning what they need to, specifically in math, because that's the space where I'll be like, la, 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 la. And I love math and I'm good at math, and I even did like calculus in high school, but sometimes I get off track with all these creative projects that I'm doing, and I need to get me back on track. And that's his strength, and whereas my strength is to push him out of his comfort zone and to do these creative projects. And it's always so funny because he'll always be like, you go do it first and I'll watch, and if it turns out good, then I'll do it. I'll let you be the guinea pig. And I'm like, all right. And we just work that way so well together because of our unique strengths. And I think sometimes kids feel like they need to be good at everything. And I think what we need to learn is that sometimes we're not great at everything, and that our job is to find something that we're really good at and share that gift with others. And so even like I see kids in my class, some of them are amazing writers, and they'll be the writer for something and somebody else will be the drawer. And so that collaboration piece, I know I've written a couple co-authored books, and purposely because of that, we build on each other's strengths. And I don't know how often in schools we actually look at kids in that way, or we look at people in that way, as to like, how can we collaborate with our strengths in order to create a better system or to create a better classroom, rather than it being a competition, it being a collaboration. And with standardized testing, so much of it is a competition almost. Like, it's not necessarily like, here, you can show your strengths in multiple different ways. There's only one way to show your strength, and this is it. And if you don't do it, then you failed. And I don't think that's how we should view children at all, because I see a value for certain standardized assessments in math and language arts, but I really question them in other areas. And some of it's just like to see where those gaps are. Like if we do a standardized assessment and I see some gaps in some areas, I'll be like, don't worry, guys. This just shows me as your teacher, like, this is where I need to start working harder because you're not understanding it. And unless we're using the standardized assessments like that, I don't really know what the purpose of them is, because the standardized assessments should be for the teachers to see the gaps, and then the teachers to be like, okay, this is now what I'm going to do. Now that I know those gaps, this is how I'm going to help the kids. And this is how, and those kids that are really strong in this area, how can I push them a little bit further? And so if we view kids from this area of, like what Bob says about they're not an empty cup being needed to fill with all this information, is our job as teachers and parents is to find what their unique creative gifts are and help uplift them and help them get those creative gifts out. And I've seen so many of my kids in my class this year just like begin to flourish, because I tell them all the time, like, let's focus on our the things that we're good at, and then you share, and then the thing that you're good at, and then you share, and then we all learn from each other. And I'm not the only like teacher in the classroom. Every single one of us are teachers, and every single one of us are learners. And I always tell them I'm always learning along with them as well. And so there's things that I don't understand and I don't know how to do, and yet the kids do. Especially when I did the like Minecraft challenge this year, I was like, I don't even know how to sign into Minecraft, but we're going to try this challenge because I think you guys will love it. And I know you guys are all experts in it because I hear you talking about it all the time. So I'm going to trust that you guys are experts at this, and you're going to teach me. You're going to teach me how to do it. And I'm just going to tell you the like main things that I know as a teacher of what we have to do for the challenge. And they went above and beyond my expectations in every single way. Every single kid in my class knew how to build what they were supposed to build. Every single kid in my class could make a video explaining what they built and why they built it and how it would empower our community. And I'm literally the only one who still can't sign into the Minecraft because I don't really know how to use it. But anyways, that's what I wanted to share, and I hope you have a lovely day.